Hello, I'm Scott Robinson. Welcome to the channel. Haven't posted a lot since Christmas time when I announced the Pi to IEC project, and I haven't had a lot of time to work on it because I've been working a full-time day job, and this last year I've also been teaching middle school students how to program in Python. It's been a rewarding experience and something that I value having tried, but I'm also anxious for the end of the school year here in about 2 more weeks because at the end of the school year, I suddenly have more free time to do things. So this isn't really an update on Pi to IEC. It's really not an update on much of anything other than having received something. So I actually received this yesterday and didn't want to do much with it until I received a couple of packages that I ordered from Amazon. One thing that I have here are some lithium household batteries, little button batteries, CR1220. And those are going to come in rather handy, as will this HDMI to DVI cable adapter, because the monitor that is just barely visible just beyond the top of the screen here has a DVI input. It also has a VGA input. One or the other or both should work. But this is also going to come in rather handy as I reveal, ta-da, the MEGA65 microcomputer. If you don't know what the MEGA65 is, undoubtedly you're not even watching this video. So I'm not going to go into great detail about it. I will say, for those who might have come upon this for the very first time, that in the early 1990s, before Commodore went bankrupt, they were designing a new computer called the Commodore 65 or the Commodore 64 DX. The idea is that it would be largely compatible with its older sibling, the Commodore 64, but would also have more RAM and more capabilities than the Commodore 64 did. Unlike the Commodore 128, now the 128 was almost 100% compatible with the Commodore 64. This one, they decided they weren't going to go for 100% compatibility, but uh, they wanted to update it. They wanted to add more features, and you really tie your hands when you try to shoot for 100% compatibility. So they started designing the Commodore 65, and before long, they decided that it was not the right product or the right time or whatever. They never finished it. And a couple years later, Commodore went bankrupt. And during the liquidation sale, a whole bunch of Commodore 65 prototypes were sold, as many as a couple hundred maybe. Nobody's really quite sure. Some of the people who got their hands on a Commodore 65, though, really liked what they were trying to accomplish with the Commodore 65. So they came together about 6 years ago now, 7 years ago. I mean, time flies, maybe even longer. I'm not sure. And created a community whose goal was to create a 21st century realization of the Commodore 65 promise. And that's what they've done here. They've created a computer with the same case, the same basic keyboard, and the same basic chipset, but realized in an FPGA form and then enhanced beyond what was going to be available in the Commodore 65. So really, the Mega 65 is everything that the Commodore 65 had promised to be, plus more. But it's still at its heart an 8-bit computer, as so many of us love, because just we do. Some people get into cars, some people have other hobbies. I and many others enjoy this hobby. So I obviously already took it out of the initial box that it came in, just because I wanted to kind of make sure that everything was here before I recorded the video. And let's go ahead and see if I can do this without wobbling the camera too much. So we open this. One interesting part of this that I will toss out for the moment is that this was originally scheduled to ship in December. The ordering opened at the Trends website in Germany, the company that produced the computer. Ordering opened in, I think it was late September, and sorry, I don't multitask well. Anyway, the computer went on sale in early September, and it was originally scheduled to be delivered, or at least the first 400 were scheduled to be delivered in late December or the 1st of January. Well, anybody who's been paying attention knows that there have been some pretty severe supply chain issues. The company that produced this actually had all their ducks in a row. They had all of the computer hardware that they needed to assemble these first 400. The one thing that they did not have apparently was the cardboard boxes, such as this one, the nice printed outer box. So in December, when they were supposed to receive delivery of all of these printed boxes, they got the word that the boxes were not going to be available at the time that they were originally promised. So we all got messages saying that we're not going to be able to meet the original deadline. We've been told that it won't be available until March. Then March came and went, and we still didn't have it. But at that point, they said that it would be just a couple more weeks, so we'd have it in April. And then April came and almost went completely. And I think they finally received the cardboard, the printed outer box, the interior boxes, everything that they needed to actually pack this for shipment the last week of April. And so last week, they started assembling boxes, and then this week, they started shipping. The amazing thing to me is the fact that this was shipped from Germany to Harriman, Utah in the United States, which is where I live, in only 2 days. It went into the system on Monday, and then after a little while, I received an email confirmation from UPS that it was scheduled to be delivered on Wednesday between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. local time. And then I actually got it a half an hour early. But of course, the UPS guy, he couldn't be bothered to ring my doorbell to let me know that a very valuable and desired package was on my porch. No, he didn't ring the doorbell, much less request a signature. He just left it propped up against one of the posts around my porch and just went away. As luck would have it, I had installed a Ring video doorbell with a motion sensor last weekend. I didn't do it specifically for this package, but I did do it in perfect time so that within a few seconds of it having been delivered, I knew that it was waiting on the porch for me, and I was able to go ahead and go outside and pick it up and bring it in the house. So I got this on Wednesday. This is Thursday as I record this because I had not yet received the parts from Amazon. But so as we can see here, one of the first things in the box is the MEGA65 user's guide, very reminiscent of what came with the Commodore 64, and it just has all sorts of stuff. I'm really impressed with the look and the quality of this. And this isn't the only book that the project has written. There's at least a 4-volume set of documentation that has been under continuous development and revising over these last few years. And eventually, I think the goal is to have maybe print on demand or some sort of a print run of the updated documentation. the nice thing about this computer is because it is based on FPGA technology, field programmable gate array, is that as bugs are discovered, they're able to release updated cores, a core being the bit stream that's loaded into the FPGA that allows it to behave like a MEGA65 or a Commodore 65. And there are other cores available too. There's a Commodore 64 core, I know, that's supposed to be, if not 100% compatible, even more compatible than the Commodore 64 mode of the MEGA 65 is. So the manual, beautiful. This, I looked at previously, is a letter with some personal private information in it about my registration code so that I can gain access to the website to receive private information that's only available to owners. Basically the ROMs, because the ROM, basic kernel and so on of this machine is based on the original Commodore 65 ROMs. It's licensed through Cloanto, the current owners of the intellectual property, as best as anyone can tell. And so the deal is that this can only be sold and allowed to be downloaded by people who have bought the MEGA 65. They're also working on some open cores so that people could run this without any proprietary software, completely open. But at the moment, this is all that we have. So, since I will want to be able to download those ROMs, and there are other options for people who want to try it, but that's the most simple and straightforward way. Oh, that is wedged in there tight. So in this little box, we have the power supply with various adapters for different international, national standards of AC voltage. Put that off to the side. And then we have this box, and I'm going to put the pretty outer box to the side now. And in this box, we have the Commodore 65, or not the Commodore 65, see what I did there? The Commodore 65 compatible MEGA 65. And it is an awesome looking machine. At least, if you liked the all-in-one, keyboard computer look, and that definitely gives me a certain feeling of nostalgia. So they have a nice mechanical keyboard. I haven't used it yet, but I'm told that it's awesome, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. It has a built-in 3.5 inch floppy drive. Those aren't being manufactured anymore. So the project bought several thousand refurbished high-density 1.44 megabyte PC-compatible drives. And that's the mechanism that's in here. And then there's a lot of other stuff involved. So I'm going to work on setting this up, and then once I have it put together, I'll record a little more video and I'll be right back.